Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am going to show you how I make my photo collages that go opposite some like prompted pages like these two in particular. You have seen some of my collage photos done with apps on my channel before, and it was highly requested that I show you a tutorial. In case you are not familiar what I am explaining, I'm going to show you like how I've done something like this just on my phone. Where else is another one? This one as well is done on my phone. So the reason why I say it's done on my phone is because I am not familiar with Photoshop. I am not familiar with Canva. And so I've learned to do this sort of thing with showing the white grid line and printing it so that it fits on a 8x10 paper when I print it to my printer, just using a couple of apps on my phone. So for instance, when you are editing your photos, I like the app called Lightroom. This one is a subscription. I think I pay $4.99 or maybe $9.99. I'm not sure, but somewhere around there a month to have it. This has definitely been a game changer as far as being able to it's like Photoshop, being able to manipulate the shadows to make things whiter, definitely taking away shadows. If you're familiar with my channel and my feed, I am blessed to be on a few design teams, and my photos need to be of a certain quality for them to use them in their marketing and advertising needs. So Lightroom is definitely that one. The app that I am familiar with, it's called Moldiv. I have talked about this on my channel in the past. This one is similar to Pick Tap Go, and any like PicMonkey, I believe I used to use in the past. The reason why I still lean towards Moldiv is simply because there is no watermark on your photo when you are done with your collage. You know, and what I mean by a watermark, if you remember, like say you did just a collage like this, on the bottom it would be Pick Tap Go, or PicMonkey would be like in a white translucent like print on the photo. And with Moldiv, there is none of that. And then the other one that I use, I have Canva. I just never use it. I don't know how. Oh, and there's PicFrame. PicFrame is the other version. I am familiar a little bit, but I am just more fluid and fluent in Moldiv. Pixel Cut I used to have. You can see it's not downloaded on my phone right now. Pixel Cut was great. Say, if you've noticed my layouts before, I always would take a picture of said, project on white foam board, right? And when you take a picture, if you want the entire background to be eliminated, it automatically traces the outline of your project and puts it on white, or if you wanted a color. So that's what Pixel Cut was. But since I've steered away from that now that I do more flat lays, that I don't mind having like, a pair of scissors or flowers in my flat lay. So I don't necessarily need Pixel Cut anymore. And then, like I said, print to size is the other one you're going to need to print specifically for the 8x10, and for it not to print all the way to the edge, because this one lets you print the size, which is outside the page sector, which would be 7 by 8 1/4. Is how I know what the measurement is on an 8x10. So I am not going to show you my editing process, but in essence, you would be going into here and selecting it syncs to your camera roll. And then, for instance, let's see if there's a design team one that I can edit real quick. This one wasn't edited. So in essence, okay, I'll show you how I edit. So this is an upcoming design team project. I start off with the light, and you can see how it will manipulate with just the exposure, that sort of thing. But you can just tweak it just to be a little bit in front. The next would be contrast. And you can see like you can make it less or more severe with those dark tones. So you can bring it a little less. Highlights, same kind of thing. I usually tweak everything just a smidge. With the white, that one you can go full blast if you want to. You can see it just makes the white whiter. And then blacks as well, so to increase the black. contrast or decrease it. Then the only thing I do usually here too is I go into color, and color mix will give you all the colors individually. And always I have it selected on yellow because I take on the saturation a smidgen out. Usually I do this. You can see how much it improves or not. It takes that, because that's a wood veneer cut file, so you can see how it just definitely doesn't make it look like wood if you go too gray. I find that usually whenever there are shadows off of the whiteboard, and because of the photo box lights that I have, they say they're clear white. They're a little warm, you know, and so that yellow tone that can sometimes be on the whiteboard is the only reason why I decrease the yellow saturation, because it makes it neutral again. Okay, so and then I hit done. Once I'm happy with it, you'll just hit that little like airdrop signal, the box with the arrow, and it asks you if you want to save it to your device. You can share it, export it. I just always save to my device, and then it will be the next current photo in your active camera roll. And so there it is sitting. So for the sake of this video, we're going to do 2 collages. I'm going to walk you through it twice. I've already edited the photos. They're just in folders already, ready to go. That way this process isn't as long. So I want to use this one. This is one that just says 1 through 5, and it's making. So I just want to make a 6 long vertical collage, meaning like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And my titles in here are just things I do making for Valentina. So my daughter's 6, so I make her lunches. We make believe. So I have a picture of like her Barbie house for that. I make forts and classrooms. So forts I have a picture of us making one. Making reading fun is going to be my other one. And then making pool time fun, reading classroom. No, it's not classroom. I know I'm changing that one too, because I have a list to the side. Making craft time. So those are the 6 photos I want to have, but I do want a little bit of a white border like this. And in essence, I'm just getting long vertical photos almost like this. So it'll be 6 stacked on top of each other. So we shall go into Moldiv. Okay. This is like they have ads, so you just continue to the app. Up here you'll hit collage. Oh, this one pops up, another ad. Collage. And then these are the ones that are at your disposal. So they always show you them in square formats, and these are all the ones that come in the free version of the app. Once you get here, this is when you have to pay for them, but none of these seem valuable to me in any sort of way, so having the free version is just fine. So I said to you I wanted 6 photos together, stacked on top of each other. So you just have to find that configuration. I just happen to always know it's on the front page. So here is the front. It'll automatically default to a square. You'll tap here where it indicates, and you'll go to your album. For me, for this one, I did make a folder labeled collage, so I have them, like I said, ready to go for you in a folder, so that this process is a little bit quicker. But like I said, you would edit your photos and have them waiting. There is a little bit of a drag time here. I don't know if this is just so many people are using it, but this does kind of stall right here. But you know, just be patient. It'll take you to your camera roll soon enough. Okay, so here's what it looks like when it takes you to your camera roll. So like I said, it gives, like if you have folders already, you can see I have quite a few, and I know I labeled the folder these are in, labeled collage, and I don't think it's in alphabetical order. Is it going to put my most recent one? Yeah, it's going to put my most recent one at the end. So here are my 7 for the collage. So here are those making lunches. Here is making reading fun. Here is craft time. Here is making forts. Here is make believe. And then here is making pool time fun. So they load into the spots as you need them. So say you're even scrolling in a folder, you'll know what position they're in down here. So for instance, if I take that off, it'll show you that this one is going to go in that lower right hand side, and that's fine. And when I put the first one, it did indicate where you are starting off from. Okay, so once your frame is, or the number of pictures is filled down below, you'll hit check, and it'll load it into the collage. I have noticed, because I've done some experimenting, so say you wanted to print this as a 4x6. You would go to adjust frame, or frame adjust, and you see how the ratio is 1:1, you would need to drag it to 3:2 or 2:3. I always say it either way because you can see it makes it longer this way, or if your photos are oriented that way, you need to print it that way. So in essence, you would go to the 3:2 ratio, and then that is perfect for printing to a 4:6. If you do not want the border around it, this is where you would manipulate that. So for instance, like if I'm using this for a collage real quick for my memory planner, once it's set for that, like a 4:6, and I had these photos, you can shrink them and zoom them in as you need to here. So you can get like the whole image back in there as much as possible, and it just shrinks them down from where they were originally. So that's how to get it to a 4:6. But since we're doing it for these papers, the ratio for this one is 1 by, you can see on the corner, 1 point, I do it 1.731. It's going to be, oh wait, I'm going the wrong way. So this is, you can see how it goes that way. There we go. I think I've done it like 1 to 1.17. Works really well for being outside the page protector when you go into the other app I'm showing you. And for this as well, I do want the white borders, so that's how you increase them. And so once this picture is next to this, I will indicate, you know, 1, 2, 3, maybe with a stamp or something else. But saving it as a 1 to 1.7 is ideal. I want to say, yeah, I think I've done that because I was going to say 1.9. Have I had good shots with? Let's just do 1.7 and make sure, and we'll go through the whole process and I'll print it out to show you if it worked. Okay. So once you're here, you'll just click on the frame again. So that is perfect for what I need. Once again, you'll hit the square box with the arrow and it will ask you to save it. Maximum pixelation, this is also a feature I like. Or you can get it down to a standard, meaning like 1,000 by 1,000 pixels and stuff. I always do maximum, especially when I'm printing it, especially to be an 8:10. You want all those pixelations because I don't want it to look grainy. So now that is the newest photo in my camera roll in the recents. We will now go into print to size. This was one I just did. So I will delete that. So it gives you the canvas. In your settings, once you have it, you will be here. You can change your like size of the paper. So this is going to my large format. So it's an 8:10. I have it in portrait. And I think I don't ever change that. But in here, like you can do all of these US letter. If you have 4:6 in your printer, and then all of these are also options. Postcards, envelopes, legal paper. So letter, and so don't get me wrong, once I did have 8.5 by 11 paper, photo paper, but 8:10 is where it sets at. So that's what your canvas is already working at. You'll hit the plus sign right here in the bottom, and I will get the collage. Like I said, it's always the most recent in your camera. So I will just hit that. You can select multiples, like if you were doing a collage to print, like to maximize your paper. But since we're printing on an 8:10 and it has to be 7 by 8.25, it's the only one that has to go there. So that's how it comes on your format. So this is all that you have to use. You can see the measurements are straight in the middle. You will be touching it and then dragging the manipulation of that size. So right now I'm getting it to be the 7 inches that it is wide. So you'll see the number increase until it's at 7. Okay. And for me, you can do 7 exactly. That means you just cut it right on the outside. But for me, I always kind of do, just as well for this one, I'm going to do a little bit less just to make sure that I keep the white border on the edge when I cut it. So 6.9, that way it stays in there. And then you're going to drag the bottom one to 8.25. Okay, so there's your 8.25. You'll hit crop in order to get it back into the scale. Okay, and you can see how just a smidge, so as you can see, that white border is all the way around with that dimension. So that is, oh, see, and then don't do that. It's kind of a little finicky from time to time. So I'll show you. So let me get it back to 7 inches. You got to be sensitive with it to 8.25. Oop. See, oop, oop. When you hit crop, it's just so that you can like pinch it back into the size. Okay, so right there, 7 at 8.25. Come on, get onto the frame. So at that measurement, 7 at 8.25 exactly, you can see how that white border stays within that whole picture. So that confirms that my ratio 1 to 1.17 is correct for printing it out that way. So that's always, I guess, what I like to see. So that once I did, you know, the straight measurement, the whole photo is in frame at 7 inches. Hold on, let's let me show you. Sorry, I'm trying to get this to focus for you so you can see the frame. So 7 inches by 8.25 is outside the page protector, and with that you see the entire white border that we needed on there. So that is good to go. So you can see how in the gray, all of that won't have ink while you print. So this is what I say about saving, you know, ink in general, because I'm not wasting it. Before I had familiarized myself with these apps, I would just print the 8x10 knowing that I would have to lose about an inch all the way around, which sometimes did not bother me, but it's just a matter of preference. So from here, I do go to print. So I hit print. My printer already comes up, but I have found that there are so many extra settings with my printer that I want to make sure it takes from like the rear tray and not the bottom, that I don't just hit print from here. I actually export it or whatever as a JPEG, and then my printer comes up this way, and then I'm able to make all of my other what is it, like specifications. So for instance, I just make sure it's on color. I have to change this to 8x10. And then in media quality, this is where I'm able to indicate what paper tray to take it from is why. Because when I've done it straight from the app, for me, it takes it from the bottom tray of my printer and it prints it just on like my 28-pound copy paper. So if I want it on my photo paper, I always leave it loaded in the rear tray. And this is where I have control of how it prints to my machine. And then for me as well, it's not just normal paper. I do have satin, so semi-gloss. You can change it to glossy paper. These are just more specifications that my printer provides to make it, I guess, as crisp as possible. So when I indicate that it's semi-gloss, somehow it printed a little bit different. I am not completely sure. But once I've changed all that, I then hit print in the corner and it will get sent. And then I will show you how it looks when it comes out of my printer. Okay, and so here it is fresh out my printer. There was my collage, and now I will be able to cut that out, and you can see, and it fits right on top of it. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So the other one I wanted to show you was not making it so linear like that. Let's take one of the other formats of the collage and show you that. So for instance, once you're back in the app, you can hit here and it'll give you all of your templates over again. So like one that I did for Mother's Day, it was one of these kind of different ones. Let's see. Because remember, the portions are going to get stretched out as well. So let's do, I think it maybe might have been this one. So let's just see what that would look like. Yeah. So see how you would have like one main photo, a few other photos to highlight, and then a few like almost like a landscape ones there too. So it's just using the photos that were already in your camera. So for instance, now let's go back and you will go to the albums. Okay. So for here, I think, was it recent? These are, I'm going to do my this year's Mother's Day photos. So let me just scroll up. I just downloaded all of them from the website. Here we are. So these are all like my Mother's Day photos. So like I said, it tells you the orientation. So I'm going to have the main one here, then the two little sides, and then the two landscape sides. So for the main ones, I want to do, these are all like, they're so good. Let's see. This one truly is my favorite. So we'll do that one. Then two little ones, we will do, you see there's so many good ones. I feel like these are both landscape. Let's see. There's so many good ones. Okay, this one, then two long ones, this one and this one. Okay. Sorry, was I off frame? So I was just selecting the ones in the positions that they were. So once you do that, then they load up. And see, and we don't even have to change any of our settings. We can just pinch these if as we need. I can move that one over, zoom in on this one, zoom in on that one. Okay, remember if you wanted to change the ratio, once again, you just go here, but remember it's 1 to 1.7, and you can make the borders more or less as you need. And remember that will print perfectly for our page. So, you know what? The only thing, because I'm going to have it on this side and I'm going to have the holes here. I want to find a format that switches the big one over here, because that way this can, is that right? Take the holes. Yeah. Okay. So hold on. This is just me being finicky. So we'll go in here again and just swip it. Is it this? Kind of. I need it on this side. Of course, there's not going to be one that is perfect. Oh, this one kind of is. It'll just be lower. Okay, we'll do that one. It'll just be lower. Okay. Oh no, but now I have to swap on this. Okay, so that, I'll show you that too. So say you're here and you're like, oh, but these were my two small ones and these were just. So you'll hit the photo and you'll see how it says switch. You can also rotate it. You'll switch it for the spot that it was in, and then switch it is an easy swap as well. Just little tricks that I have found here and there along the way. Let's get that one centered. That one looks good. Okay. So now I just did that because I'm aware that since it's going to be on this side of this page, the holes are going to be over here. So I'm okay with like the holes going through my feet, and then down here, since there's a bigger picture anyway, right? Am I okay with that? Yeah, I think so. And it'll go good because there's a lot of blue. There's blue in this paper, and then I just want to talk there. So that's how we have it. So once again, you'll just export it. I do maximum since I'm going to print it as an 8x10. Okay, now it's saved into your camera roll. We'll go to print to size. This one is here. Delete it. Add at the bottom. Your next one that we just did. Add. And then drag your measurement so that it's 7. 7. See how it's so fun? So it's delicate. By 8 1/4. Okay. Crop. So you can pinch it and not bother the measurements. Okay. Then highlight it and drag it. 7 by 8 1/4. Remember, for me, I send to print as a JPEG so that I can control the paper tray. Oh, it already is. That's right. 8x10. And as you can see, this is all just so autopilot for me now. And then it'll go to my printer and we'll have this one ready to go as well. So those are the ones you need. So if you want to pay to get editing done a little bit more detailed, get Lightroom, Moldiv for your collaging, and then print to size. Once you have those apps on your phone, you are able to do a majority of the hybrid scrapbooking that you see me do as well. I actually went back and edited this photo simply because it didn't dawn on me until I was looking at that's only 1 through 5 and I had 6 photos. So I took off the one that had the fort making, and I will tell the stories for these other 5. So I went and edited it. So I just went in that collage again, did it, still stretched out the measurements, remembered to 1.1 semicolon 1.17, and used the print to size and printed it out quite nicely. And you can see with the border, it lines up perfectly with these prompted pages. The same for this one, came out perfect. And so the holes will go like up here and probably down here with this one. So I'll cut this one out as well and slightly embellish it as well. But this one was just a prompted page, so it's very nice. I was also mentioning that I use that Moldiv app to even do my 8x8 4x6 collages for my memory planner. So same app, I do it without a border, and then I stretch this stretch to fit on here. With the 8 collage is 3x2, and that way it fits on your 4x6 prints. And these get sent to my Epson PictureMate. I am 2 weeks behind on July memory keeping, but I have the pictures ready to go for my memory planner. So once again, to get your tiny photos. You don't need to have those little tiny printers. You can use a 4x6. You can send the 3x2 off to print at Walgreens if that is available for you as well, and have your collages and your tiny photos ready to go. So I hope you found this tutorial informative. I hope I showed as step-by-step as possible as I could, but by all means, if you have any comments, leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer them. And if you'd like more hybrid scrapbooking like this, I know I also did one in my album for Father's Day where like I left one of the squares blank and I did all my journaling in that app of Moldiv as well. And I can show you how I do the typing onto it as well. That could be the next one if you want to learn more in that app. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. Give this video a thumbs up. It always helps my channel. And until next time, everyone, bye.